Hello there and welcome to another live stream here on the VB Thomas platform. We will be once again racing around, this time Brazil here in King of Leagues. It's going to be the Saturday pool with race 1 of 3 races in the Saturday pool. Everyone is still in the lobby, but obviously we're first going to be looking at the different leagues that will be racing tonight. So yesterday we had a good race around Friday. There was a little bit of chaos, but apart from that we had a really decent race with some good battles there as well. Now I'm hoping to see the exact same thing happening here on Saturday tonight, and we will be going over the grid real quick. So on Saturday we're gonna have PGS F1 Esports, Vini Vidi Vici F1, Overtake Racing League, who I'm expecting much of, together with EXA Racing League as well, obviously. Some new guys as well: Intercontinental Racing, Red Arrows Racing, Formula Certasio Racing, and Vre League Esports. All new leagues, and then we've got some returning leagues as well, being Grand Prix Racing and Axel Racing League. Also, Overtake Racing League and Axel Racing League have taken part before, together with PGS F1 Esports. So those are going to be the leagues tonight. They each will have to supply the lobby of 2 drivers. And next week the same, and the week after as well. And then we will be combining the positions, the points, and see which league is best out of the Saturday pool. Now let's go straight into the race as well. As obviously we first have a short qualifying for you planned tonight here around Brazil, and it's an absolutely lovely track in my opinion, one of the best racing tracks out there on the F1 calendar, especially on a game like F1 24 where most of the tracks are quite fucked. So yeah, it's going to be a track where we do tend to see a lot of action, and let's hope that's going to be the case here tonight as well. Macy F1 being one of the first drivers out on track. He is going to be racing for, let me just double check here, he will be racing for Vini Vidi Vici F1 as he's coming around the last corner, already invalidated, and it seems like he's going a little bit too slow. Warming up the tires right now. Is he going to go for why is he weaving all over the place? He's not going to carry too much speed coming down the straight, so he'll already lose a bit of time there. Might warm up the tires first, go for another slow outlap. So we might want to go on board with Wildstorm here. Wildstorm racing for Grand Prix Racing, who did a decent job last time as well in Pool 1, if I'm not mistaken, where we had the pools based on pace. Now it's just what the league prefer. As Wildstorm coming into Sector 2 now, as he's got a black car ahead of him as well, and it's quite difficult with these different car colors because you've got many black dots on the screen and you don't necessarily know which team is which dot, you know. So as he comes around the last corner now, Wildstorm racing for Grand Prix Racing. His very own teammate will be Adonis, as Adonis seems to be on track as well. The first drivers are coming across the line, as that will be Wildstorm, and that's already going to put a benchmark as a 1:7.6 is the fastest lap so far. Still plenty of guys coming out on track as we speak. Alioza racing for Overtake Racing League, as he seems to be taking a lot of curb there on the inside of turn 1 and 2. As we're coming down the straight, gets a little toe there from the other driver, as Adonis now comes across the line with a 1:7.0. Great lap there by the Grand Prix Racing driver, as it's now 1-2 for GPR. Macy coming across the line with a 1:23.3. That is definitely something that you should try to improve on, as he's going to be about 16 seconds slower. One of the drivers to look into as well is Luca Ripasa, together with Angelo D'Ortenzio, all the way at the bottom of the grid. And he told me he was going to go on to the intermediates, and let's see whether he's going to actually finish this qualifying on the intermediates. I would assume not so, as going from 19 to P1 is going to be quite a challenging task. As Luca Ripasa retired from the pit lane. Retired in the pit lane? Did he retire in the pit lane? It doesn't look like it. Or does it? Very strange. They seem to be going last to first. Alioza coming across the line in P3 as his very own teammate Mash Krishnik putting himself on pole position with a 1:6.8. As apparently Exa Racing League will be doing last to first, as El Presidente coming across the line with a 1.9.1 as well. A big gap there, looking from P6 to P7, about an 8-10 gap. There's also a big gap from P6 to P1, as there's more than a second in between the both of them. Might want to go on board with Click here as well, as he just started this qualifying lap. Fastest first sector so far for Click, as Click seems to be racing for Axel Racing League. That's going to be Shaquille Oatmeal, if I'm not mistaken. As Axel Racing League running an orange livery tonight. Brown orange-ish. As his very own teammate doesn't seem to be in the lobby. That's going to be Zaza. Or is Zaza in the lobby? I don't see another orange car. Might have not been Zaza though. It might have been somebody else. Might have been Moxo. Click now coming down the straight. What time will he put on the board? He had the fastest first sector already, but I'm unsure whether he's going to grab pole time tonight. No, it seems to be a P5. As that will be a decent time by Click. Let's go on board with Bo. As he's also on a fast one coming down the straight now. It's going to be a 1.7, but by how much? A 1.7.5, putting himself on P4 for now. But still a decent time there by Mash Krishnik. Versus still retired from the session as well. Seems to have crashed out coming out of turn 12. It's Furiosa still in the pit lane. Comes back into the pit lane, but comes out again. Still have 11 more minutes in this qualifying session. Let's go on board with Leo. Yes, he has invalidated his qualifying lap already. So still plenty of drivers without an actual lap on the board. Angelo D'Ortenzio has invalidated this time. He's on the wet tires as well, as he seems to be weaving all over the place. Unsure what's happening there, but it might have been a glitch from the game. Hello everyone in the chat, how are you doing? Hopefully you're having a fine evening with Frisk coming into the pits right now. Is anyone else putting a decent time on the board? One to look into as well is Super Striker, who's usually one of the faster guys in Formula 1 Racing League, which I'm also commentating on. As they're going to be running a white and red livery here tonight for Red Arrows Racing. And Super Striker is the owner of Red Arrows Racing, together with Bo as well. Coming down the straight goes Super Striker, and let's do a quick track analysis to see how he's going to be tackling this Brazil qualifying lap. Going into turn 1, you want to touch the curb on the inside a little bit. Seems like he does so. A little snap there from Super Striker. Has to watch out. Might have lost a bit of time there, losing the car, losing the rear end as well. And down the straight he goes. The ERS wide open. Not much ERS used, as apparently he used everything already down that first start-finish straight. Going onto the curb rather aggressively. Didn't lose too much time doing that, as obviously you want to have a decent exit coming out of turn 4. Into turn 6 he goes, into turn 7. Then we've got turn 8 coming right up. Hard braking zone. You want to make a move down the inside there. Most likely opportunity around the Brazilian Grand Prix track, as he's got a bit of traffic up ahead. That's a blue car. Might have been either Mash or Aliosa. As Aliosa is on an outlap, so that would explain a lot. Super Striker now coming around the last corner. Didn't seem to have any fastest sectors, so this is definitely not looking like a pole time position, but he's usually around the time of Bo as well. So let's see who's the more mighty driver of Red Arrows Racing here in Brazil. Coming down the straight, only a P8 for Super Striker, so this is definitely an underperforming performance there by Super Striker. Let's go on board with some of the guys here at the back of the grid. Angelo D'Artenzio is coming back into the pits. No, he's going to come across the line on the wet tires, and he had put a 1:10.5, so he's about 4 seconds slower than pole position, as he's gonna go on another lap on these wet tires right now. And the Exa Racing League drivers seem to be wanting to go last to first, as Luca Ripasa actually not going last to first, as he's starting in front of Cyril. As Lucas Angelo seems to be coming into turn 4. Good exit there, I do have to say that. On the wet tires it's not as easy as it looks like, but he manages to do so quite fine. Oh, and he goes a little deeper into that corner. Might have made a mistake there, lost the braking point. As Alioza seems to be improving as well by about a tenth and a half as he comes across the line now with a tenth and a half of an improvement. Doesn't gain a single position, but does strengthen his very own time with a 1:7.2 so far. So Adonis finds himself in the middle of the both of them as Exa is definitely losing some big points here tonight. And the problem is as well, they're going to be surrounded by drivers who are not their own pace. So it could be that some incidents are going to happen. And then obviously the drivers are going to be saying, yeah, these guys are dirty or whatever. You know, they're starting from the back of the grid with guys that most likely are a little bit slower. P14 currently a 1:8.9, so that's about a second and a half to 2 seconds slower than pole position. Obviously, if Angelo is around pole time, you know, he's going to be 2 seconds faster, and then we're going to be having chaos at the back of the grid. So we're going to have to look into that at the beginning of the race, see if there is anything happening as Adonis started a new qualifying lap here as well. Yeah, actually a decent looking livery from GPR, as obviously their league is a black and yellow logo. So this is actually representing the league quite well. Luca Ripasa has left the session as I'm not sure what happened there. Rolly, can you let me know what's happening? Adonis still on a fast lap. He's got a bit of traffic up ahead. That's a blue car. With Adonis now coming around the last corner. Angelo D'Artenzio retired from the session as well. Is he going to leave the session as well? As Exa obviously not being represented by some decent drivers here if they're going to be leaving the session. As Leo on a fast one as well. Is he going to go straight into the slipstream of the driver ahead of him? No, he's a little bit too far ahead. As those will be the PG... ooh, who is BP in the room? Who is this? Anand, please let me know in the chat. Who is this? Is that a... Oh, no. Who is that? Is that a PGS driver? I think it is, no? Oh, it's Marcus? Ah, fair enough. Furiosa is going to come back into the pits with another driver that is... Shaggy, most likely, racing for a PGSF1 as well, as he finds himself in P11 so far. Bo has managed to find a decent time with 1:7.5, but still P6, as pole time goes to Mash Krishnik for now. Frisk Troyer all the way at the back of the grid. Is he gonna go for a faster lap here? Is he going to grab those slipstream? Doesn't look like it. To the straight he goes and comes back into the pits. No! Cuts the corner there a little bit. Coming down the line, puts himself in P6. Great time by Fristroyer. As Marcus is indeed a racer from Intercontinental Racing. And the other driver from Intercontinental Racing is Fristroyer, who just came across the line in P6. So they're going to be represented quite well together with Overtake Racing League and obviously GPR. So those are going to be the three big names here tonight in the Saturday pool. Super Striker doesn't seem to be improving anytime soon. 2/10 slower compared to his previous lap. And he seems to be coming back into the pit. Still has about 4 more minutes to go. As everyone currently in the pit lane. Destroyer needs to up the pace a little bit to get back into the pit lane and make sure he's going to get back out on time on a new set of soft tires. And we saw a lot of guys last night who went from the softs to the mediums. No, who went from the mediums to the hards to the mediums. So is that a strategy that would work here around Brazil as well? Obviously, we're going to be having a 35% race. So the tire degradation will still be a little bit higher, but I think a soft medium strategy would actually be doable. As I'm quickly gonna look at the chat here in King of Leagues, as obviously I need to have a look back, have a look at the chat. As Blinding Ego currently in P12 on an outlap. as he's the only one on track at the moment. A couple of guys coming out, as you can see there in the pit lane. There's a blue and a white car, as that most likely will be either Mash or Aliosa. There's a couple of guys currently in the chat dropping me a follow. Thank you very much, guys. Really appreciate that. As it was indeed Mash Krishnik who came out of the pit lane, heading into turn 4 now. As Blinding Echo might be on another one straight away, as I don't think he has enough time to come back into the pits. And down the straight goes Blinding Echo, as he's going to start his qualifying lap right now. So let's go straight on board with Blinding Echo. Heading into turn 3, long left-hander, as you definitely want to touch the curb there on the inside, like we saw Angelo D'Artenzio do earlier. Yes, he is improving on his very own time. A 1:8.1 is the time to beat for Blinding Echo. Blinding Echo loses the car, and that's going to be a tricky one there for the PGS F1 Racing League driver, as he probably won't be improving anytime soon. We might want to go on board with Super Striker here, who just started this qualifying lap. Down the straight goes Super Striker, and he'll have a little bit of traffic up ahead, so let's hope these guys are going to leave enough space for Super Striker to get past. There's the yellow car there going to the side quite nicely. There's another car ahead of him. That's going to be Mash Krishnik or Aliosa. There's still plenty of room there for Super Striker to finish off his lap. Super Striker heading into Sector 3 as we speak. Let's see how much time he's gaining. I'm expecting a lot here from Super Striker, and definitely seeing Bo being 4/10 faster. Super Striker should be around that pace as well, but simply cannot find the pace. 17,000 slower at the moment. And this may be Sector 3, the place where you lost a bit of time. And that's usually a sector where you're not going to be gaining too much. Look at that time from Mash Krishnik. A 1:6.5, demolishing everyone else. And I'm pretty sure that Angelo and Luca will not be happy seeing that, because it's going to be tough getting back to the front of the pack. Bo not faster on a qualifying lap either. Aliosa just started this qualifying lap, so we might want to go on board with Adonis, who now improves by about 0.07 of a second. And thank you for letting me know, Cyril. I didn't know. Well, obviously you're going to have to start from the back of the grid, but yeah, those are some technical issues that some drivers do. Ooh, look at that! Another driver getting into the way of Adonis, and did he maybe give a little slipstream? Oh, and barely gets in there with a 1:6.6. P2 about 0.05 of a second slower than Mash Krishnik, so this is definitely looking to be a great race, looking at the pace and the times from the drivers as well. As BP in the room has come across the line as well, not with an improvement though, but still, as the qualifying is over at the moment. As we might have a little lobby restart later on, as please make sure to let your drivers know we're going to be having a lobby restart. Wildstorm coming into the pit. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to get some things sorted. As Aliosa came across the line as well, not with an improvement, as Click put himself in P4. Great time there by the Axel Racing League driver. Macy coming back into the pits, and that will be the end of the qualifying. I'm simply going to take a quick picture from the results, as we're going to have to look into that later on, as BP in the room does improve in his time. Look at that, putting himself in P4. What a time from BP in the room. As we've got the results right here, I'm going to take a quick picture, and then we're going to be able to restart the lobby. So guys, we're going to have to take a little break here. I'm going to put the leaks on screen so you can analyze that for yourself. It's going to take about 5 minutes, so please hold on tight, as we're going to be ready for... Oh, Luca Ripasa managed to join. Wait, do we need a lobby restart? I think we do, don't we? Here we've got the results of the qualifying as well. As this is going to be the results right now. Oh, Mosh left. Okay, we're gonna have a lobby restart, guys. I'll be back in a session. In a second. Yeah, sorry guys. So we're currently trying to fix a lobby, but somebody can't seem to join, which is obviously an F1 mistake, not our fault. The grid has been set already, so we should be good to go anytime soon. As I'm quickly gonna change something, and we should be ready to go. All right, guys, my apologies. We're back at it again. Sorry if you waited so long. You probably had the chance to take a quick drink or whatever. But we are back at it again. The EXA Racing League guys are starting from the back of the grid. Mush and what was the other guy's name? Fuck. Okay, so it's Overtake Racing League in P1 and P3. Then we have Adonis in P2, racing for GPR. And apart from that, we will be going over the grid real quick. So BP in the room is in P4, Click in P5, Fritztroyer in P6. Then we've got Bo in P7, Wildstorm in P8, Macy in P9, and Super Striker in P10. Third, we've got Furiosa, Raver, Blinding Echo, Shaggy, Leo, El Presidente, Luca Ripasa, Cyril, and Angelo D'Ortensio. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, all the leaks are saying they're going to be winning. The chances of that happening is rather slim because there's only one driver who can win the race. So it's 1 out of 19, which is about 5% that your guy can win. Obviously, the guys at the front of the pack have higher chances of winning this race. So, yeah, if your guy is all the way at the bottom of the grid, you can basically say that you're not going to be winning the race, which is most likely the case for XR Racing League. If they still manage to win the race, oh, somebody apparently is P19, and that is I don't know, I'm not. I fixed it. Hold up. All right, guys, we are ready to go here for the Brazilian Grand Prix in King of Leagues. As the guys are underway already, it's pedal to the metal, and away we go. Mosh getting into the first corner, but Adonis is already making a move up the inside. Look at the GPR driver, takes the lead of the race with BP in the room, trying to make an overtake already. Down the inside he goes, but he backs out of it again. Anyone else looking to make an overtake anytime soon? Fristroyer lost about 2 positions already, with Adonis moving up to P1 so far. As there's a couple of position changes here in the middle of the field. Super Striker gaining 2 positions so far, and there's a little bit of chaos there at the back of the grid for Yosa, who drops back all the way to P19. Angelo D'Artenzio now in the battle with Shaggy, as Shaggy goes down the inside. A little wheel banging between the both of them, but Angelo still has the inside line. There's a little crash there. That was Macy who lost the car, now drops about 3 positions, as there's another driver, seems to be crashing all over the place. That will be Blinding Echo, who lost the car there as well. Let's go to the front of the pack again, as Adonis is now gaining a bit of time on Mash Krishnik. Definitely a difference in pace compared to their qualifying. As you can see, there's already about a 5-10 gap there between the both of them. Bo now losing the toe of BP in the room as well, as we're looking at Click now with a move down the inside in turn 1. Side by side they go, coming into turn 2, as Wildstorm did manage to get the curb on the inside, so he's going to be able to make an overtake done. Super Striker looking to make an overtake as well. DRS wide open, coming down the straight. He's going to be alongside, so he can make that move, as Click breaks a little bit later. Side by side they go, and Super Striker makes up a position. Beautiful overtake. He kept himself composed, as now Fristroyer has a little bit of carnage behind him, as he seems to be glitching all over the place. Super Striker and Click still side by side, as they're going to be having another move heading into Sector 2. As we might want to put the track map on the screen as well. Here comes Super Striker around the outside, as Luca Ripasa is finding his way around Fristroyer, maybe down the straight with the DRS. Click and Super Striker is still in a heated battle. Oh, and Click loses the car. Luca Ripasa can make easy work out of that. Into the slipstream of Fristroyer he goes. DRS wide open now. He's on the hard tires as well. DRS wide open. Are we going to go for a 3-way overtake? Seems like it. As look at Ripasa down the inside. Look at that overtake, as Fristroyer is still side by side with Super Striker, as he does manage to make that overtake as well, heading into turn 1. Click now trying to make a little comeback work. He had a little incident with Super Striker earlier on. And Super Striker doesn't necessarily have straight line speed. You can see that Click makes a move down the inside. Still side by side, a little wheel banging between the both of them. The Click makes an overtake. Angelo with a good exit coming out of turn 4. Is he going to be able to make a move on Click as well? Doesn't seem like it's just Super Striker who loses a position there. As the XR Racing League drivers definitely finding their way through the grid, starting all the way from the bottom of the pack. But now the lead of the race is running away, as well, as we're looking at a 1.7 second gap from P5 to P4. So it's definitely a GPR versus Overtake Racing League battle here at the moment in King of Leagues, the Saturday pool most likely. As we're heading into lap 4 out of the 25, with Adonis still in the lead of the race. Overtake Racing League really has to do something about working together with each other, trying to make an overtake on Adonis as soon as possible, and then the other driver needs to try to create a gap behind him, because otherwise there's going to be a little bit of trouble for Overtake Racing League when Adonis is going to stay in the lead of the race. Maybe we should look at the tires as well to see what strategies everyone is going on. Luca and Angelo both on the hard tires, as Adonis starting on the soft tires. Maj and Aliosa both starting on the medium tires, as well as BP in the room is also on the soft tires. So GPR has definitely chosen a different strategy than the Overtake Racing League guys. As we might be looking at a faster Overtake Racing League team as well later on this race. Might want to go on board with Luca here as well. He's on the tail of Bo. Managed to catch up quite nicely there. Wildstorm, who got past Bo as well, as there's now a 2.2 second gap in between Wildstorm and BP in the room. As Luca Ripasa going onto the curb there. A decent exit from the XR Racing League driver, as he finds himself into the slipstream of Bo. Coming down the straight as well goes Mush, and the Overtake Racing League guys, almost a collision with Adonis, as Aliosa now with a move around the outside. Is he going to make a stick? Doesn't seem like it. Adonis with a better exit coming out of turn 1, as Luca Ripasa now with a move on Bo as well, as apparently Luca Ripasa is looking strong on these hard tires. Aliosa now in the battle with Adonis as well, heading into turn 4. Oh, and a little snap there from Aliosa almost took out Adonis. So they do have to watch out here. We want to keep it clean. We want to keep it competitive. And this is not the way to do it, obviously. If you have a little snap, there's nothing you can do about that, but you're still deemed in the wrong there. So let's go on board with Luca Ripasa, who's apparently, Angelo has a little bit more troubles here trying to get past Bo as well. Let's see if Angelo can make a move down the inside. A big lunge there from the XI Racing League driver. That seems like a push and pass there, as Bo still had a better exit. Angelo, is he going to make it stick? Around the outside he goes. There is a gap, but he decides to not go for it. Maybe with a better exit. He's right up that ass of Bo, as Bo definitely doesn't have the DRS. 1.3 seconds behind. And here we go. Angelo with a good move on Bo. Coming down the straight goes Luca and BP in the room as well. BP who already got past Sector 1, of course. I mean, Turn 1, Section 1, whatever you want to call it. As Wildstorm got passed by Luca rather easily. And now Luca trying to get back to that top 4 group. He's going to be on the faster tire at the end of the race as well. So let's see how that's going to play out. 2.5 seconds to gain for Luca Ripasa in order to get back to that little group at the front of the pack. And so we're looking at some decent battles here at the back of the grid as well. Blinding Echo making a move down the inside of Res Cyril. And Cyril seems to keep it composed. Oh, that's not Cyril. That's El Presidente, who seems to be in a battle with Blinding Echo as well. Who just got passed by a Blinding Echo, the PGS F1 driver. The second PGS F1 driver. Oh, and El Presidente almost took out Blinding Echo there. So definitely has to watch out in order to not create any damage. For himself, but also for other drivers, obviously. It's Leo in a battle with Macy as well. Or is that Shaggy? That is indeed Shaggy, as Shaggy is the PGS F1 driver, obviously. And Wildstorm getting overtaken by Angelo D'Ortenzio now as well, as a 1:8.9 is the current fastest lap by the Italian driver. Fristor making an overtake on Bo as well here, heading into Sector 1. As there seems to be a lot of battles on track at the moment. Blinding Echo already coming into the pits. Doesn't want to get caught up in those double stacks that you will see every now and then. Bo making an overtake on Fristor now. As that's going to be a little battle for P8. Make sure to know that everyone who scores the race, who finishes the race, scores points. As Luca Ripasa caught up to BP in the room. And that's going to be easy work for the XR Racing League driver, as BP in the room seems to be struggling on these soft tires. We're heading into lap 8 out of the 25. And I mean, the soft tires are going to start to drop off. The guys on the medium tires at the moment seem to be good to go, but still, how much longer can they go? As apparently the soft tire winners are not coming into the pits yet. Oh, and a late move there by BP in the room, trying to defend the inside line. But Luca Ripasa was already alongside. Now BP in the room has to try and keep Angelo D'Ortenzio behind him. But is he going to be able to? DRS wide open now for the Italian driver. Is he going to make a move around the outside? Apparently he is. As the yellow rockets are flying through the field at the moment. Their next target will be Adonis, Mash, and Aliosa, and that will be a battle for the lead of the race as well. So, still 17 more laps to go here in Brazil. As there is a big group, a DRS group here as well. Look at Clicks going onto the curb and going onto the grass as well. Has to watch out, lets everyone go through. As Leo is not close enough yet to make a move on the Axel Racing League driver. Let's see what Bo can do here on the tail of Super Striker. His very own teammate. And they're not having the same color of car. Ooh, is that a penalty worthy? Nah, it's red and it's white. It's okay. Super Striker now on the tail of Fristor, as all drivers are now running soft tires here all the way from P6 to P13. And Fristor defending the inside line, but Super Striker makes a move heading into Sector 1. As that's going to be quick and easy for the Red Arrows Racing League driver. Let's go on board with the top guys, as Luca and Angelo managed to catch up. Their next target will be Adonis first, who's on those soft tires. So most likely some degraded softs already. as the XR Racing League drivers seem to be doing a good job trying to get back to the front of the pack. Especially on the hard tires. Their tires will be better than the soft tires at the moment, so it's no wonder they're really catching up this quickly, but still, they've got great pace. They managed to get all the way from the back of the field. Let's have a quick look. Luca went from P16 to P4 already, and Angelo went from P18 to P5 already, so they're definitely doing a great job trying to get back to those two guys at the front of the pack, as Adonis is now getting overtaken by Luca. Around the outside goes Luca, and now Angelo trying to make an overtake as well around the outside, and that's going to be quick and easy with the use of DRS as well. And how much ERS do they have left in the tank? Luca has about 50, Angelo has about the same. Angelo almost lost the car there, going onto the curb too aggressively. And now it will be Exa versus ORL. And I'm pretty sure Newman is currently in the chat being a little bit scared. You know, you can see those Exa guys fight their way through the field, as apparently a couple of guys are coming into the pits already. BP in the room, Super Striker, Raver, and Bo coming into the pits as well. And here we see Luca Ripasan not necessarily getting past Aliosa yet, but he'll have the DRS later on. Maybe Overtake Racing League can work together, give that position to Aliosa, and then Marsh needs to hold them up. Maybe they need to do something about these two, because they're just a little bit too fast at the moment. Nobody is coming into the pits yet. That will be for around lap 12, lap 13 maybe. And here we see a position switch between Marsh and Aliosa, as Luca finds himself down the inside. A little switch back there maybe by Luca. DRS wide open for the XR Racing League driver coming out of turn 3. Around the outside he goes, and this will be a three-way overtake. This will be a three-way overtake. Look at that overtake. Down the inside goes Aliosa, but he can keep the position. Luca Riposa in the lead of the race right now, as apparently Mash Krishnik got overtaken by two guys as well. As we're heading into Sector 2, Luca Ripasan now has to create some kind of gap, but Aliosa still on the tail of the XR Racing League driver, as Angelo seems to be trying to make a move down the inside. Maybe a little snap there by Aliosa. As Angelo definitely had a good exit coming out of turn 10. These hard tires are still good to go, but maybe the Overtake Racing League guys... Oh, and a little snap by Angelo. Has to watch out. Lost a bit of time there. This Marsh may be going to be able to make an overtake coming down the straight. No, he's too far back. Doesn't necessarily have the straight line speed, which is needed here in Brazil coming down the straight. Angelo, is he going to go for a move down the inside? Oh, he's going to go for a move. Well, saw the move down the inside, and saw the gap down the inside, and now they touch wheels. Oh, this is really close racing between the both of them, as Angelo still makes up a position. Aliosa just had to give that position for free. Well, not necessarily for free, because he battled for it, but he acknowledged that it was going to turn out bad if he didn't necessarily give that position. BP in the room, 3 positions lost so far. Adonis, 4 positions lost, as XR Racing League is definitely doing a great job at the moment. This is a two-way battle between two very prestigious leagues, XR Racing League and Overtake Racing League. Overtake Racing League, who barely got within Pool 1 last season, and they seem to be doing a good job here in the Saturday pool, kind of losing a bit of time there in Sector 3 while heading into turn 12. You can see that Aliosa definitely lost a bit of time compared to both the guys, as Angelo now gets into the lead of the race. Luca Riposa, who gave that position, coming down the straight. And so now going to go on board with the guys here at the back of the grid. Leo right behind Macy as well, as he's got Shaggy right behind him. And a little snap there from Leo as well. And Frizz coming into the pits. There's a 14-second gap from Frizz to Aliosa, so Adonis not necessarily keeping up with these guys. He might have come into the pits already, going onto the medium tires. He went from the softs to the mediums, so he might have the advantage later on this race. Although not necessarily, because he came into the pits earlier, so his tires are going to be worn out as well. Let's go on board with Shaggy here in P15 on the tail of Leo. As apparently the Vre Esports League. How do you say that? I don't even know. You're going to be switching positions as well as they're trying to catch up to El Presidente and the rest of the guys. So you might want to have a quick look at the stops they made already. You're about 15 seconds behind Blinding Echo, so it's going to be a little bit of a disappointing night here for Red, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be coming back stronger than ever next week and prove themselves, prove other leagues wrong that you're not supposed to be all the way at the back of the grid. You know, P18, P19, that's not necessarily somewhere you want to be, but you're still going to be scoring points. So you definitely don't want to retire in the pit lane. Anyone who scores the who finishes the race scores points. Coming down the straight we go. Super Striker now with a move on his very own teammate. They're going to try and work together to get back to Wildstorm and BP in the room, who are about 2.5 seconds ahead of them. And they do have a difficult climb behind them, which is Raver, V3 F1 racer. As, he's within 5/10 of the both of them. So it's going to be a 2v1 at the moment for the Red Arrows Racing League drivers. As we might want to go back to the front of the pack as Luca Ripasa, Angelo D'Ortenzio might be looking to come into the pits anytime soon. 14 lap old hard tires, still good to go as you're going to be switching positions again. Marsh is having troubles keeping up with these guys. And this Alioza is also having troubles. Didn't have the DRS. And he lost a bit of time there as well. Marsh just holding on tight there. 8.5 tenths right now as he definitely has the DRS together with Alioza. But they're going to be losing time in Sector 2 as well. Let's go on board with Wildstorm, who's on the tail of BP in the room. This is going to be a great battle for those teams as well, as I'm quickly going to have a quick look at the grid as well. BP in the room is Marcus. He's racing for Intercontinental Racing, and then we've got Fristroyer as well. Fristroyer does find himself in P12, so not a great position for the ECR driver, but still he's scoring a decent amount of points. And I think that the aim for most of the leagues here is top three. You know, you've got Overtake Racing League and XR Racing League who are currently dominating the field. They are within a couple of tenths of each other in P1, P2, P3, and P4. Then it's to the rest of the guys. You know, maybe GPR as well in a league of their own. Oh, and Angelo gets a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. He will definitely lose a bit of time and possibly positions with that as well. And he cannot be happy with that. Maybe it's done on purpose. Is it done on purpose? Rolly, please let me know. But yeah, as I said, you know, you've got Adonis and BP in the room who are obviously GPR drivers, so they're going to be scoring a decent amount of points for the for that team as well. As if I'm not mistaken, they came into the pits already, didn't they? Let me have a quick look. BP in the room did come into the pits already, as Alioza finds himself 3 seconds behind. So if Wildstorm and BP feel, optimistic about their pace, they might be able to keep up with Angelo and, you know, get within those 10 seconds. But it's going to be a challenge, definitely a big challenge there for the both of them. They can only lose about 2 more seconds in 9 laps, so I don't think that's too much of a challenge there for Angelo, as he's now on the tail of Adonis. Maybe if Adonis makes it difficult for him, you never know. Adonis can still grab a top 3 position here as Mash still in the tail of Luca Ripasa. Fristroyer with a 3-second time penalty now as well. Let's see who comes out of the pit lane first. That will most likely be Luca Ripasa, only if he didn't do that thingy well with the, I don't know, with when you have to press a certain button. Let's go on board with BP in the room now, trying to make an overtake on Wildstorm. Is he going to go for a move though? Does have the DRS, but just sticks within the tail of Wildstorm. And Wildstorm, who's going to be racing for Grand Prix Racing as well. As apparently BP in the room is not for Grand Prix Racing. He's racing for Intercontinental, isn't he? I think he is. I'm quite confused with these names because they're all different on Discord, so it kind of messes up my head. Adonis and Angelo D'Ortenzio currently in the lead of the race. As Adonis, if he feels like he has the pace, he can still grab the lead of the race and, you know, win this Grand Prix. But then on the other hand, you've got Luca Ripasa on the fresh medium tires, there's no way that he's going to be losing that position to Adonis. So Mash on the soft tires at the moment, keeping up with Luca Ripasa. There's about 8 more laps to go. So Mash should be able to still have a decent battle with Luca Ripasa, as Angelo D'Ortenzio now getting the fastest lap on a track of 1:8.2. As qualifying was a I can't even remember what was qualifying. BP in the room and Wildstorm having a heated battle there as well, with Bo and Super Striker now switching positions. Raver, who can seem to find a way around these Red Arrow Racing League drivers. As Leo now coming down straight, he's going to go for a move down the inside. No, backside of it, heading into turn 1. As they're going to be working together with each other. No, is it Shaggy? Yes, it is Shaggy and Leo. No, Blinding Echo, who were working together with each other. Blinding Echo apparently made a mistake there. He drops back to P16 as we go back to the lead of the race with Luca Ripasa on the tail of Adonis. But this is a good job for Mash Krishnik, because, you know, Luca Ripasa is stuck behind Adonis, and this gives a good opportunity for Mash to get back to that little group of 2 drivers. Oh, you guys are still able to use those emojis? Wait, that is cool. How are you able to use that? I didn't even know those were still there. Mash now into the top 3, as Adonis lost 2 positions. And that must be very frustrating for the GPR driver. Although Wildstorm now making an overtake, so an extra amount of points for GPR. Super Striker and Bo still switching positions, as Maj is now on the tail of Luca Ripasa. Let's see what he can do here in Sector 2. Seems like he has some good pace coming out of turn 4. He has to go early on the brakes, and he needs to make this overtake done as soon as possible. Luca Ripasa defending the inside line there, as I think Mash was really looking to go for an inside line move. Now has a decent exit. Around the outside he goes, maybe with a late move coming down the straight. No, Luca Ripasa defends that inside line perfectly, like he did in turn 8. Heading into turn 11, long left-hander into turn 12. If he has a decent exit, he might be able to make an overtake done. DRS wide open now for Mash Krishnik, and is this going to be a shot for the lead of the race? Well, virtually lead of the race, because Angelo has those 10 seconds of time penalties. Coming down the straight now goes Mash into the lead of the race. I mean, not necessarily. Oh, and look at that! Adonis is trying to find his way around these guys as well. It was 3 wide going into turn 1. But Mash now taking P2. And there's about 6 more laps for Angelo to create a 6-second gap. Luca Ripasa around the outside of Mash Krishnik, as apparently he got pushed wide a little bit there. Not necessarily, just pushed onto the curb. Oh, Mash banging wheels there. This is some questionable driving there from the both of them. As that was definitely something questionable there between Mash and Luca Ripasa. I couldn't tell you for sure who was in the mistake, who was in the wrong, is what I should say. As these guys here at the back of the grid are having a decent battle with El Presidente. El Presidente, who does have a penalty, as we might want to go on board with Raver and Bo here in the middle of the field. As they're going to be stuck behind, once again, the Red Arrows Racing League drivers. As Fritz Troyer now trying to get back as well. 3 seconds behind Raver, so that's going to be a big gap to how do you say that? Improve on? No. Get back to. Yeah, that's a decent word. BP in the room, as Luca Ripasa now getting past Mash as well. As Luca is definitely trying to create some kind of gap to Angelo D'Ortenzio, and the main reason for that is because they want to score maximum points. If there's not a 10-second gap between Mash and Angelo will simply lose a position or 2, 1 to Mash and 1 to Adonis, as Aliosa is still... Oh, look at that move from Mash! What a move, as Luca now finds himself down the inside still, but Mash is going to have a better exit there. Look at that. Luca Ripasa will have the DRS though, and he had a lot of straight line speed earlier on, so he's gonna do the exact same thing here tonight. Heading into lap 22, still about 4 more laps of racing. As look at that gap forming though. Look at that gap between Mash and Luca and Angelo. As Luca now going around the outside, and here comes Adonis. He has waited long enough for a move on Mash, but he makes it anyway. Beautifully done by Adonis. Yes, Aliosa, not much he can do at the moment. These soft tires are going to start wearing out rather quickly. As Raver with a move on Bo as well now. He couldn't really find his way around the Red Arrows Racing League drivers. We might want to have a quick look with the penalties as well to see who has how many penalties. As Raver doesn't have a single penalty yet, so that's good news. Frizz Troyer, who does have 3 seconds, Click as well. Together with Shaggy, a Blinding Echo, and then 9 seconds for El Presidente all the way in P17. Angelo, who obviously has that 10-second time penalty. Shaggy now with a move on F1 Macy as well. As F1 Macy is looking to make a move around the outside again. Is he going to make a move? Doesn't look like it. Has to back out of it again. Shaggy with some good lines coming through Sector 2. So I want to go on board with the top 5 again. This is a good battle though. Oh, look at Mash! Mash down the inside. Is he going to make an overtake? Oh, look at that! Oh, he locks up the brakes. Oh no, and he gets crashed out by Luca Ripasa there. Still on track. Good move by Mash, although Adonis found his way rather easily through that field. Now Luca Ripasa. Oh, they're going 3 wide again, heading into turn 4. Mash and Luca Ripasa. Oh, this is not good. This is not good racing. The both of them being really eager to kind of create a gap to Angelo, but I mean 1.5 more seconds to create there for Luca Ripasa. As Mash now going down the inside. Is he going to come out ahead, heading into turn 11? This is difficult for Mash as he wants that DRS, obviously, but right now he's just going to get overtaken by 2 or 3 guys. 9.6 seconds already to Angelo, and I think Angelo definitely has found a cheat code there with Luca Ripasa. He's going to win this Grand Prix, but who's going to come in P2, P3, and P4? Aliosa. Oh, yes, this was about to happen, you know, going into turn 1, going 3 wide. We've done that lap after lap, and it was supposed to be clean and shit, but you know, Aliosa now dropping to P7. Oh, he's gonna even drop more positions. Bo, Raver, Super Striker, who all get past Aliosa. And this was definitely expected. As I mean, some guys in the chat saying it as well, you know, they were battling too aggressively and too many incidents, and you know, it's just something that that's unfortunate. It's unfortunate racing, you know. It is what it is. It is what it is. Luca Ripasa still trying to hold back Mash Krishnik. As obviously Mash looking to get a podium position here. He needs to gain about a couple of tenths on Angelo in order to get the race win, if he does manage to make that overtake on Luca Ripasa. Although there seems to be about a tenth or two to the Italian driver in the lead of the Grand Prix. There's a big battle here at the back of the grid as well. Cyril and President having a battle with each other. El Presidente, who finds himself in the middle of 2 of Red Esports League drivers. Let's go back on board with Mash Krishnik on the tail of Luca Ripasa. We're heading into the last lap as well, as I think Angelo made a little mistake there. Luca might still be up for this race win. A yellow flag, that will be Wildstorm. No, it will not be Wildstorm. It will be a black car. Frizz Troyer, who lost the car heading into lap 25. There's Wildstorm now on the tail of BP in the room. And let's see what Mash can do. Let's see what Mash can do, because he's still up for the race win. And if he manages to stay... Oh no, Luca Ripasa drops out of the 1 second of Mash Krishnik, or is it the other way around? Mash will not have the DRS to be used as Angelo comes down the straight. 10-second time penalty though, but Luca Ripasa will still grab the race win due to that 10-second time penalty. Where will Mash Krishnik end up in? P3 with about 99 thousandths of a second to Angelo. It's Wildstorm and BP in the room still having a heated battle. Here comes Wildstorm around the outside as he takes P5 for GPR. And both the Red Arrow Racing League drivers doing a good job there as well in P7 and P8, keeping Raver behind him. We might want to go on board with Macy here coming down the straight. As Fritz Stroyer is going to lose that position anyway. Aliosa now bumping up a position as well because Clicks had a penalty. As Macy drops back, Fritz Stroyer drops back to P13. Let's go on board here with El Presidente and Furiosa. As Furiosa is unfortunately going to finish off in P18 together with her very own teammate Cyril in P17. El Presidente is going to be our last finisher for tonight as he has 12 seconds of time penalties. Around the last corner, and there we go. That was the Brazilian Grand Prix here in King of Leagues. Some questionable driving once again. But overall, a really decent race. We didn't really see a virtual safety car like we saw last night. So that's good news. But overall, I think there's definitely going to be a couple of reports. We can have a quick look here with the results of the race. Luca Ripasa and Angelo going all the way from P16 and 18 to a P1 and a P2. Mash, who still managed to get the fastest lap of the race with a 1:7.9. Congratulations to you. 1 extra point for Overtake Racing League. Adonis dropping in to P4 after an incident with Aliosa. I definitely think there was something else possible there for the GPR driver. Wildstorm in P5, BP in the room in P6, Super Striker and Bo from Red Arrows Racing in P7 and P8. Then we've got Raver in P9 and then Aliosa, who unfortunately dropped all the way to P10. Further we've got Click, Macy, Fristor, Shaggy, Blinding Echo, Cyril, Furiosa, Leo and El Presidente. As we don't have any DNS for tonight, so that is good news. And overall, I'm simply going to say thank you very much for watching the live stream. We're going to be back again next week with another race here in the Saturday pool. Also on the Friday pool, so if you want to watch another race, make sure to drop in on Friday as well. As all I can say tonight is thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.